Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Seduced by the Bodyguard by Shayla Black. Narrated by Jason Clark.
Chapter 1. Arlington, Texas. July 4th, 10 a.m. Sophie. This morning is already hotter than the underside of Hades, but it's also Independence Day. My agent, David, insisted that hometown girl made good appearing in one of the biggest parades in Texas is an effective grassroots way to spread the word about my new single and upcoming album, so here I am. Besides, I've traveled the globe for the better part of a dozen years. It's comforting to spend a day near home, surrounded by the smell of smoking brisket and the sight of people waving Old Glory. 10 minutes. David proclaims as he sticks his head into the little bathroom at the back of one of the shops at the top of the parade route. Of course he's wearing a suit, despite the fact it's already 100 degrees, and he looks impeccable doing it. The man is a stickler. Thanks. I check my red lipstick in the dingy mirror. This is as good as it's going to get. My sparkling red mini dress is an attention-getting showstopper, but the stars and stripes stilettos really command a double take. I feel a bit like USO Barbie, who suddenly decided to walk a street corner. Then again, it matches my new image. Gone is my squeaky clean child star persona. Now I'm an adult, and David never misses an opportunity to remind people that puberty hit me hard and fast by dressing me in things that cling to my ass and show off the fact I very definitely have boobs. It's annoying, but I can't argue with the results. It's working. I'm just not sure I care anymore. Another problem for another day. I'm ready, I tell him as I hide my liquid lipstick in my cleavage. When I look up from tucking the tube between my breasts, there's a stranger beside David, towering over me and watching my every move. I would feel ridiculous, but with a glance, he knocks out my breath and steals my good sense. Holy sex drive. I have no idea who this guy is or why he's here, but he's as gorgeous as a god, with shoulders almost as wide as the doorframe. His dark eyes are like midnight. He's wearing a black t-shirt that hugs the bulges of his biceps and exposes tattooed sleeves down both arms. Black denim and black boots complete the look. He's going to swelter in today's heat, but he'll look damn fine doing it. Hi, I say stupidly. He nods.
Ms. Larson.
David intervenes.
This is Rand Garrison, your security detail for the parade.
The name fits him. Hard, blunt, almost brutal. Nice to meet you.
Same.
He murmurs. The word doesn't sound like a mere pleasantry. This man isn't the sort to bother with silly things like decorum or etiquette. I've met his type before, very serious and convinced he's one of the few who stand between order and anarchy in this dangerous world. Where's Rob? I ask about my usual security detail.
Tossing his cookies like he's doing a reenactment of The Exorcist, so you'll spend the day with Rand, former Marine and most recently a Dallas SWAT captain. Any questions?
For a 2-hour lip-syncing gig? No.
Great.
David claps his hands together impatiently.
You look fetchingly patriotic. Shake what God gave you for Uncle Sam and you'll do great. I'll be waiting for you at the end of the route with Graham.
Graham Normuth, the new British pop sensation with a velvety voice and sensitive face. Women all over the globe swoon and scream for him, probably because they don't actually know him as a human being. He's here?
He flew in last night. He wanted to surprise you, but jet lag and traffic and whatnot. He told me he can't wait to see you after the parade.
Oh, great. I do my best to sound chipper, but I'm pretty sure David knows I'm not happy. Rand steps back and into the glow of overhead lights. He's even more striking. The wide diagonal scar through his left eyebrow that skipped over his eye and sliced its way down his cheek before stopping short of his mouth only gives him a sexier edge. Ironically, when he gestures me out of the doorway and into a deserted hall, I find myself gawking like I'm the fan staring at a heartthrob. David hangs back, watching Rand settle an enormous, furnace-hot hand on my naked skin above the backless dress's scooped edge. He smiles. "What are you up to?" I don't have time to ask before Rand hustles me out of the little shop and guides me down the back of the parade route, flanking me as he escorts me to my waiting float, all while maintaining his palm on my bare back. It's all I can do not to shiver at his touch. "Do you know where I'm supposed to go?" I ask to cut the tension.
Yes.
"Do you know the parade route?"
Yes.
"Did David arrange for you to ride the float with me?" It's a must since I've had a few unnerving incidents over the last couple of years.
Yes.
Clearly Rand Garrison isn't a talker. "Anything else I should know?"
No.
Damn, he's probably the most attractive man I've ever met, and that's saying something, but he seemingly has zero interest in me. Between the people I meet in this business and the internet, I get propositioned a lot. I'm rarely tempted. Now that I might be, he's not. Just my luck. It doesn't matter. After today, I'll never see this guy again. I just need to perform for the next couple of hours and get on with my life. "I'm sorry you have to bother with me today. I'm sure you have more important things to worry about." The crowd thickens around us as more people finish the last-minute details for their floats and the accompanying performances. Rand turns watchful, tense. He looks at everything and everyone with suspicion.
I don't.
He's on the job, and he takes work seriously. I get it. I'm still nervous before the start of every gig, too, but he acts as if every minute could be life or death. Then again, in his world, it might. "I appreciate you putting up with me in the crowd and this heat." He doesn't reply until we reach the float. Then he fits his hands around my waist as if I'm no bigger than a doll and lifts me onto it.
"You making it to the end in one piece is thanks enough."
Suddenly, he's beside me on the float, a red, white, and blue spectacular celebrating America's past and future with a pair of flags and a stage between them. Once he hands me up to the platform, I'm surrounded by a troupe of dancers in patriotic costumes. Rand positions himself behind them, doing his best to blend into the background, but he still stands out. This dress leaves no room for my phone, and I can't wear a watch with this getup, but from the crowd and the flurry of activity, I surmise it's nearly time. Frowning, I glance around for the microphone prop that's supposed to be waiting. Finally, I spot it, then take the familiar shape in hand. A middle-aged woman dashes by and looks up at me, clipboard in one hand, phone pressed to her ear with the other. "Thanks for joining us today, Ms. Larson. It's an honor. Are you ready?" "Thanks for inviting me. I am." "Don't forget, when you cross that intersection there," she points, "your music will begin. You'll sing for that block and part of the next, then your music will drop off. All you have to do after that is smile and wave until your float rounds the last corner." I haven't done a ton of parades, but I've played arenas all over the world. This should be a piece of cake. "I understand." The woman stops looking harried long enough to smile at me. "Really, thanks for doing this. Our parade is always popular, but you coming back to your hometown today with us has probably tripled our spectators. We're so excited." "I'm happy to be here." The good food, the community atmosphere, and the friendly people all remind me why I miss Texas. The organizer moves on, and the humid air stands absolutely still as I wait, wishing I could get my long hair off my shoulders and claw off at least half the makeup the stylist put on me less than an hour ago. It seems like forever before the parade begins, and the floats in front of me lurch forward, crawling down the parade route. Then mine follows suit, dragging across the black asphalt. The heat is oppressive, shimmering off the road in waves under the pounding sun. I look down at Rand, standing silent and stoic, feet apart, hands at his sides. I feel the coiled tension coming off of him. There's nothing restful about the man. It's almost as if he's expecting trouble. But I can't ask why because the crowd is too loud, and we're quickly approaching the intersection that will mark the beginning of my music piped through the overhead speakers. So I quell my worry, grip the microphone, smile for the folks lining the parade route, and get ready to look like I'm giving the performance of my life. Everything is great as the float creeps through the intersection. The intro to my latest single cues up. My stomach tenses. It always does before a performance. Then I'm dancing my way through the opening bars of the song and enjoying the crowd's enthusiasm. Until gunshots erupt. And all hell breaks loose.
Chapter 2. Rand. The moment I hear the first gunshot, I grab Sophie Larson and tug her off the platform, shielding her with my body. Around me, people scream. I draw my weapon. Pandemonium ensues. Parents grab their children, people run everywhere. Others, especially those less mobile, either drop to the pavement or scramble for the nearest doorframe, looking for some semblance of protection. That's all moving in my periphery. But what I'm really aware of is finding the asshole with the gun, and the beautiful blonde behind me, breasts rising and falling at my back with every rapid breath she takes. "Are you hurt?" I shout over the noise.
No.
Her reply is faint, but I hear it. That's enough for now. Another shot rings out, so close I hear the bullet whiz past my temple. It's not my first rodeo with this kind of shit, but if I don't move, it might be my last. Still, I'm under no illusions. I'm not the target of whoever's pulling the trigger. Since his first shot went way over my head to Sophie's platform above, I know he's aiming for her. We've got to move. With a curse, I hop off the float, then pluck her off behind me. To her credit, she lands on her feet, despite those ridiculously impractical, totally sexy heels. Even more impressive, she actually manages to run. Still, I'm twitchy. It's the screaming and the suggestive music filled with Sophie's smoky voice singing about sex that's unsettling me. The adrenaline isn't helping either, but the back of my neck starts to itch. The next shot is coming. Abruptly, I swerve into a nearby doorframe, jerking Sophie with me, again shielding her with my body as the next shot hits a window frame inches from us, splintering the wood. She starts in fear. I yank on the doorknob to the right to try and dive inside. It's locked. Fuck. I'm hyper-aware that my back is vulnerable and that she's pressed against my chest, looking up at me with those hypnotic eyes she's so well known for, a tumultuous shade between blue and gray. Only now, they're panicked. I see past the stage makeup and the false lashes to the terrified woman underneath. Breathe. She shakes her head.
We can't stay here.
No, come on. I tug on her arm again and sprint down the sidewalk. Another shot whizzes through the narrow space between our shoulders. From the timing and position of the shots, I suspect there's one shooter across the street, probably on an upper level or roof. And if I can't hustle Sophie around the next corner before he fires again, at least one of us stands a good chance of being dead. Air burns my lungs as I sprint toward the corner of the big building on my right. Sophie does her best to keep up. She's got a death grip on my hand. Another bullet zings between us, this one near our hands. The screams of the spectators grow even more shrill. Sophie gasps. She's unnerved. I don't blame her. Dodging a killer isn't exactly in her wheelhouse. Worse, we've still got 15 feet before we reach any semblance of safety, and this asshole is going to get off another shot before we can make it. I'd love to turn and off him, but he's probably a few 100 feet away. The shot isn't impossible with my Glock, just unlikely. And in the time it would take me to find him, set, aim, and fire, he'd probably tag and bag me. And if something happens to me, what happens to Sophie? I'm not waiting around to find out. Run! I pick up speed and yank on her wrist. She stumbles in the ridiculously high-heeled shoes.
Wait!
No time for that. I wrap my arm around her waist, lift her against my side, and haul ass for safety. Another bullet whizzes by, where Sophie stood just moments ago. Then we're around the corner. We're safe, for now. We can't stay long, but we can regroup and strategize for a minute or two. Hopefully it's enough. Panting, I lower her to her feet and press her back to the wall, blocking her from any possible threat. You okay? More screaming fills the streets. Sirens roar closer to the scene. She presses a hand to her chest, struggling to catch her breath.
I'm not hurt.
She doesn't try to claim that she isn't terrified out of her mind. I know she is. Are you familiar with this area?
Not really. I'm from DFW, but never spent much time in Arlington.
Damn, I'm only slightly familiar with this chunk of the city. We've got to get out of this alley and this fucking vicinity fast. Then we need a safe location without anyone knowing where Sophie is hiding. Only then can I figure out who wants her dead and why. I scan our surroundings and come up with an idea. Take off your dress.
What?
A whole lot of hell no crosses her face. Does she think I'm propositioning her right now? Don't get me wrong, in a less dangerous situation, if she was willing, I'd be more than game. Sophie may have been a pretty girl who burst on the music scene when she was still in pigtails, but she's a hella beautiful woman now. I certainly wouldn't turn her down, but that's not why I'm asking her to disrobe. Your red, spangly dress is a bright, shiny target to this shooter.
Oh,
She frowns.
but I can't run around naked.
As much as I might like the view, she's right. Everyone has a camera on their cell phones these days, and she doesn't need that kind of exposure. Hell, we're lucky that everyone is too busy running for their lives to notice us tucked into this narrow alley. I yank my t-shirt from my waistband and jerk it over my head, leaving my torso covered in a thin wife beater. The t-shirt is damp with my sweat, and it smells like me, but that's all I've got to give her. Put this on. Sophie takes the shirt from my hand, her gaze glued to mine.
Where am I supposed to change?
But she knows the answer. I see it on her face. I'll block you. After all, she's tiny. I'm pretty big. We'll make it work. But we don't have time for modesty. She hesitates an instant, then drops one strap of her low, scoop-necked dress down her arm, followed by the other. As she does, one thing becomes obvious. Sophie Larson isn't wearing a bra. I start to sweat again, and this time it has nothing to do with heat or danger. Holy shit. Jerking my gaze back to the street, I give her what privacy I can. I'm sure weirdos and jackoffs say skeevy things to her all the time. If not, she would never need to hire a guy like me. From my peripheral vision, I see her lower her dress to her waist and catch her lipstick in her hand. She's wearing some sort of nude-colored stickers over her nipples that adhere to the upper swells and lift her obviously full rack. But I'm not staring. Really, I'm not. But they're right there. I blow out a breath as she shimmies from the dress to reveal she's wearing one of the tiniest, most transparent thongs I've ever seen. A single glance. Damn, I did not mean to look, and I can tell she's a natural blonde. Seconds later, she whisks my shirt over her head, covering everything. It swallows her small frame and hangs to the middle of her thighs. It conceals way more than the dress she had on. Are you attached to this? I fist the red fabric. She shakes her head.
It's horrible.
Grateful for the nearby dumpster, I toss it, glad when the bright, glittery ball of sequins clears the rim and disappears into the heap. What about your shoes? Can you run in bare feet? She steps out of one stiletto. The instant her foot touches the hot asphalt, she hisses and jerks away.
No.
Understood. Let's do something about your hair. Because pale curls hanging nearly to her pretty, swaying ass definitely draws attention. She had mine the moment I set eyes on her.
How?
I rummage in my pocket. I've got a rubber band I used to hold together a couple of boxes of ammo I loaded into their magazines on my way here. This work?
Yes, will you hold this?
She hands me her lipstick. As I pocket it, she grabs her hair and shoves it without much care into a messy bun, then twists the rubber band around it until the pale mass stays. It's not optimal, and I wish like hell she had a hat and athletic shoes, but this will have to do. At least she'll be a less obvious target now. And we've been in the alley too long. We're sitting ducks. I jerk my head to the side. Up for running? We have to get across the street. She nods.
Let's go.
I take her hand again and slink to the edge of the building. Pandemonium still rules the streets. With the mad dash of people and all the barricades closing off the parade route, I imagine local law enforcement is having a difficult time getting their vehicles into the area. Instead, police are pouring in on foot, but we can't afford to be swept up in the crowd. It's not safe for Sophie, since I have no idea who's behind this attempt on her life. We can't get separated. It's my job to lead her to safety, and I intend to do it. Since I haven't heard any more gunfire, I suspect the shooter has closed up shop and is doing his best to blend in with the crowd. We need to do the same, so I lead Sophie out onto the sidewalk. Then we jog across the street. If she was anyone but a well-known star, I'd pull her into the drugstore, one of the few businesses open during the holiday, and wait for the area to be cleared. But her face is liable to cause a commotion, which is the last thing we need. And just because I don't see anyone on our asses now doesn't mean we're in the clear. The shooter could be blending in to hunt her down. At the back of the drugstore's parking lot, I spot a horse-drawn buggy with a traditional canopy. The entire thing is decorated in red, white, and blue streamers for the parade. A teenage boy hovers beside it nervously, watching everything around him. His eyes go wide with fear when I approach, gun in hand. I'm not here to hurt you. $50 to let me borrow your ride. I drag a bill from my pocket. The kid swallows, his Adam's apple bobbing sharply.
I can't. It's my grandpa's. I promised I'd bring it back.
$100 for 10 minutes. I won't take it far. We have to get out of the vicinity. It's about a mile to my truck. Once we're there, we can get anywhere. The teenager opens his mouth to reply, then his stare falls on Sophie, and his eyes go wide with recognition.
Oh my God, you're...
Keep it quiet, I hiss.
Please.
Sophie grabs his hands.
I need to get out of here safely. I'll take you,
he insists in a rush, head bobbing. My first instinct is to refuse. I don't want to deal with amateurs or risk this kid with so much life in front of him, but if he won't lend me his buggy and I don't have another way out of this place, I have to compromise. You're sure? I ask. It could be dangerous.
I'm not afraid.
Clearly he is, and doesn't want to seem scared in front of Sophie. You don't have to play hero, kid. He scowls at me.
My name is Dustin, and I'm 18.
So he's touchy about being an adult. Got it. I hold up my hands. Sorry. Maybe this kid's stubbornness is a good thing. If the shooter sees him, he has no reason to connect Dustin with us. Sophie squeezes his fingers.
You don't have to get involved. Were the shots for you?
He asks her. I nod.
I've got an idea.
The guy bends down and flips up a lid to a compartment tucked beneath, then produces a blanket. He hands it to me.
You can cover up with this.
It's 100 fucking degrees, but this is another way to hide. Good thinking. I tell Dustin the intersection where I parked my truck. Get us as close as you can. I turn to Sophie. Up you go. She nods, and I lift her into the buggy. When she's settled on the black leather seat, I hop in beside her, spread the blanket over us, and urge her to hunker down. I pull the blanket over our heads as the teenager hops onto the driver's seat and gives the reins a flick. The horse takes off, and the buggy clambers down the street, maneuvering between terrorized dads, stricken mothers, and crying kids still running for their lives. I hear the terror in their rapid footfalls.
I got this,
Dustin assures. Sit back. There's nothing else we can do. I turn to Sophie. She's still breathing hard. It's hot and humid as fuck under this scrap of wool. Our faces are inches apart. Her lips open softly. Her breath is sweet. Her stare is direct.
Do you have any idea why this is happening?
Do you? I counter. Have you received any death threats?
Not recently. Nothing credible, anyway.
But the fact she receives them at all fucking bothers me. Why would anyone want to hurt Sophie? Can you think of a reason someone would have anything against you?
Except angry moms who chastise me for not singing wholesome music anymore, or stalkers berating me for swinging my hips and singing about sex because they're convinced I belong to them, no.
What a creepy world she lives in. I can't imagine people feeling so entitled or delusional that, despite being strangers, they genuinely believe they can control an artist. But I'm not shocked. There are a lot of unhinged loons out there. But no specific threats recently.
Unless David knows something I don't.
She shakes her head. Sophie brings up an interesting point, and I'll get to him later. But for now, I just nod. Did you have another appearance scheduled tonight?
No, I'm on a break until the album drops next month.
Good. She's less likely to be missed, so that gives us more time to get to the bottom of this. Then she bites her lip, mouth pressing into a grim line that tells me she's fighting tears.
I'm afraid.
She's right to be. I squeeze her hand. Ever been shot at?
No.
And the look on her face tells me she can't imagine why anyone would want her dead. You've never been a threat, so this kind of malice makes no sense to you. She nods.
I've only tried to make the world a happier place with my songs.
At that, she falls apart. It's not unexpected. She feels betrayed by violence coming from people she tried to entertain. Plus, the adrenaline crash is a bitch. Against me, her whole body trembles. I press her closer and wrap an arm around her. I don't say anything. Empty assurances are pointless. I can't promise her I can get her out of this mess in one piece. I can only promise to try my damnedest. We stay that way for so long we begin to sweat together. Neither of us cares. She lays her head on my chest. Her bent knee creeps onto my leg. It seems automatic to take her bare thigh in my grip and pull her closer. The slow motion of the buggy rolls our bodies rhythmically against each other. She probably feels every inch of my reaction to having her so close. I'm harder than I ever fucking remember. Sophie is lost in her own fear, and I'm a heel for even noticing how beautiful she is, much less entertaining thoughts of sex. But I can't help wanting her. It's agonizing. I grit my teeth and suffer in silence. Finally, Dustin slows the horse-drawn wagon.
There's a group of cops ahead. What do you want me to do?
Stay under the blanket, I murmur to Sophie, then cautiously peek out. Just like he said, we're 100 feet from the barricades originally set for the parade. They're not allowing any vehicles in or out. Fuck. Get us as close as you can without attracting attention. I'll handle the rest.
Okay.
Moments later, the cart rolls to a stop. It's nothing Dustin says or does, but I feel his panic.
They're staring.
And he doesn't know what to do. Any moment they'll approach and tell him he can't go through the barricade without being interrogated. I can't claim that either Sophie or I need medical attention. They'll rustle up an EMT who will debunk our excuse for leaving the area. I have to come up with a plan B.
What's going on?
Sophie asks from under the blanket. You better now?
Somewhat. Thanks. Sorry.
Don't apologize. We have a problem. We have to get away from here fast, and I only have one idea how.
What is it?
Play along. Before she can ask more questions, I shove the blanket down to her waist, haul her against my chest, and kiss her. She stiffens, sucking in a shocked little gasp. Then she softens, slowly opening to me, one breath, one moment at a time. Because she remembers our situation, or because she likes it. I can't mind-fuck myself by answering that. Right now, I have to focus on getting her to safety. But the temptation to press myself onto the softness of her pillowy red lips is one I can't resist. Jesus, they're like a cushion for my questing mouth. It's overkill for the situation, but I nudge her lips apart and sink inside. Then I step even farther over the line and plunge deep. Holy shit. Sophie is fucking sweet. I detect a hint of cherry flavor I can't help but chase with my tongue. She's sensual as she pulls me in, welcoming me and clutching my shoulders with a breathy moan. I grab her tighter, gripping her closer, and sink completely into her waiting mouth, desperate to be inside her in any way she'll let me. "There's a problem?" I hear a deep, unfamiliar voice ask. Dustin croaks. "I was just giving a ride to these folks who, Want some privacy," I say as I reluctantly twist myself from Sophie's lush lips and bury her too familiar face in my shoulder. "Can we get by? Please, man, please." He sends me a disapproving stare. "Did you see the shooting, or anyone suspicious?" "No, I was, involved with my girlfriend." I cradle Sophie's head, covering her face. "You got any ID?" I pretend to pat my pockets, then huff. "Son of a bitch, I left my wallet in my car." "What about your girlfriend? She got her driver's license?" Sophie wisely shakes her head, but doesn't lift it or say a word. Instead, she pretends interest in me, trailing her lips up my neck. It's all I can do to keep my head in the game and not shudder in pleasure, but I feel her touch all the way down my spine. "She didn't bring a purse." I curl my arms around her again. "Dude, really, I just want to be alone with my girl. You know how it is. Come on. If I knew anything, I'd tell you." The young cop takes in the fact I have a half-dressed blonde on my lap and sighs as he turns to his fellow officers. "Let him through." As the other cops move the barricades, I settle my cheek against Sophie's. "We're almost out of here." "Thank you." Her voice shakes. Her fear cools the boil from my blood. I feel like an asshole for aching to take Sophie to bed. "You can't. Suck it up. Do your job. She's a client." Unfortunately, she feels like more than that. It seems to take forever, but Dustin clicks at the horse and slaps the reins, finally hauling us from the scene. I keep Sophie curled against me until we're past the cops and heading toward my truck. The kid and I exchange a few more words, and I point toward the lot in question. It's busy. Other people have managed to escape the parade route on foot and are rushing to their vehicles. There's no way Dustin can maneuver the cart between all the drivers peeling out and skidding away. He pulls onto an adjacent sidewalk instead and turns to face us. "Here you go." "You did great, Dustin. Can't thank you enough." I hand him $100. He pushes it back in my direction. "I don't want any money, just..." Dustin looks at Sophie like he's love-struck. "Could I have your autograph?" She smiles. "I owe you more than that. How about something better? Something for now." Sophie smiles and leans in, pressing a butterfly soft kiss to his cheek. "Thank you for everything. Really." "Oh my God." He presses his fingers to his face. "And I want to give you something for later. If you'll write down your phone number, I'll make sure you have the best backstage tickets to my concert the next time I'm in town. Bring a few friends. I'll send a limo for you. Ensure you have one of the best meals of your life, and we'll sit down to talk when I'm less of a mess so I can tell you how truly grateful I am." "No shit?" Dustin's eyes bug out. "Absolutely." The kid scrambles to find a piece of paper and a pen, then jots his digits and thrusts them her way. "That would be amazing." She palms it. "My pleasure. You'll hear from me soon, Dustin." "Wow, amazing." A loopy grin covers his face. "No one will believe me." I have an idea how to solve that problem. "Sophie, are you attached to your shoes?" She scowls. "They're actually worse than the dress." "Why don't you let Dustin keep them?" I look his way. Social media can verify she was wearing these shoes when the performance started. Just wait a few days, huh? So the danger dies down. Sophie slips off her shoes and hands them to Dustin. He's barely paying attention to me as he takes them from her.
Yeah, sure. Oh, my sister is going to flip shit when she sees these.
I jump to the sidewalk with a chuckle. Still in the buggy, Sophie frowns.
Rand, the pavement is too hot for my feet.
Does she think I haven't realized that? I got you. Come here. When I hold out my hand, she only hesitates a second before she takes it. Sophie trusts me. Mostly. I've gotten her this far. If I had more time with her, if she were mine, it would be heady to win her trust, nudge her comfort zone, then push her boundaries slowly, one seductive inch at a time. But she's not yours, and she's probably not that sort of woman. Get your brains out of your dick. While she's perched at the edge of the buggy, I settle an arm around her waist, then wedge the other under her knees and haul her against my chest. She grabs my neck and squeaks in protest.
You can't carry me.
Newsflash, I'm doing it, I point out. Thanks again, Dustin.
Thank you.
Satisfied we made the cleanest getaway possible, I carry her to my truck, ignoring the curious stares of other drivers passing by. When I reach my black Chevy, I slide Sophie down my body. Stand on my feet. She does. Every inch of her is pressed against every inch of me. It's impossible to ignore our closeness as I fish for my keys in my pocket and press the fob to unlock the door. Then I sweep her back into my arms.
What are you doing now?
She squeaks. Open the door. She does, and a blast of unbearable heat rolls from the cab of the truck. I love the sleekness of black vehicles, but they make summer in Texas a real bitch. I'll get the air going in a minute. I slide her into the driver's seat. Scoot to the passenger side, and we'll be out of here.
Going where?
She asks as she shimmies over, doing her best to pull my big shirt down so she doesn't expose her thighs and everything in between. Too late. I've seen it all, and it's indelibly burned into my brain. Not because she's a celebrity. I've protected lots of famous folks. I'm past that BS. But if my fantasy was real, she'd look like Sophie Larson. And all I can think about is kissing her again, getting her underneath me, and giving her every inch I've got. I clear my throat and start the truck. I'm figuring that out. We can't go to my place. Too many people know she was with me before the shit hit the fan, and if the killer is connected to her, that's the first place they'll look.
Do you have a phone? I can call David and...
Tell him where to find you? He knew where you were 30 minutes ago. How did that work out?
That's not fair. He couldn't possibly have known some crackpot would shoot at me.
Are you willing to risk your life on that? She scowls.
Why should I trust you over him? We just met.
It's entirely possible Sophie will slap me for what I'm about to do, but I have to make her understand. I wrap my fingers around her nape, pull her face inches from mine, and fight not to kiss her again. Honey, if I wanted you dead, you'd already be dead. And I wouldn't have wasted my time and risked my skin to get you away from that parade safely. She blinks at me, and it's difficult as fuck not to be hypnotized by those eyes that celebrity gossip rags have gushed about since she first hit the scene. I always thought she was hot, but pictures don't do Sophie justice.
I see your point,
she murmurs. Reluctantly, I release her and ease away. The way I look at it, someone who knew when and where you'd be took shots at you.
But I doubt David wants to hurt me. He hired you.
Not exactly. When Rob got sick, he called me and asked me to step in. He didn't like this whole parade setup. He told David that. Your agent said he was overreacting. Clearly not.
Still, that doesn't mean...
She sighs.
But I get what you're saying. As long as no one knows where to find me, it buys us time to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I have an idea where we can lie low. Sit back. We'll be in the car for a while.
Anything I can do to help?
Think hard and honestly about who might want you dead.
Chapter 3. Sophie. I'm still shaking, but somehow I keep myself together by a thread as we speed west on I-20 south of Fort Worth, then connect with Highway 377. We pass a lake and disappear into the country. Where are we going? I ask finally.
Someplace safe. Think of anyone who might want you dead.
I've been pondering that while Rand drives, fast and steady down the road, controlling the vehicle with his firm grip and cannon-sized biceps. But between the trauma of being shot at and our narrow escape, the uncertainty ahead, the hyper-awareness of being basically naked under his shirt, and the memory of his shockingly commanding kiss, my brain is mush. Nothing yet, I murmur.
It'll come. It's barely noon, and it's been a terrible day. You hungry?
He asks as the freeway turns into a 2-lane road that runs through a little town that can't be more than a speck on a map. It's crazy to me this place is less than an hour from the city where I grew up, and yet it's nothing like my former neighborhood. It's a hodgepodge of mom-and-pop businesses with a regional grocery store and a few fast food restaurants. That's it. But people live their entire lives in close-knit towns like this. They're born here. They work and live and fall in love and have children before they die here. I've had such a global, nomadic life for the past dozen years. It seems crazy to me, in a good way, to spend your life in one place. I'm jealous of people who have a sense of permanence and belonging. Not really. He nods.
Let me know.
You from around here?
No, just been here a few times.
End of conversation. He's really not a talker, but he's an amazing kisser. I bet he'd be fantastic at plenty of other things, too. I stare out the window at the last of the little town sliding by. If I don't, I'll just stare at Rand and silently wish he would touch me.
You okay?
He asks. Fine.
I've got to make a phone call.
He slides the device from his pocket and scrolls through his contacts while the road is empty. The person on the other end of the connection answers quickly.
Hey, Joe, I've got a favor to ask.
The reply is short and muffled. I hear nothing but a deep voice.
That little place you had by the lake available for a few days?
This time a longer, more animated reply.
Perfect. Key still in the same spot?
Another answer, even shorter, followed by a laugh.
You're a lifesaver, man. I'll explain when I can. Just don't tell anyone you've heard from me. I'll call my brothers so they don't freak and you won't have to deal.
The voice on the other end replies once more, this time sounding final.
Thanks. Hey, I owe you a beer next time I see you.
He says just before he ends the call. A friend? I ask.
Of my brother, yeah. Joe is a good guy. He hooked us up.
Rand falls quiet again, and it's not much longer before we roll into another town, this one bigger than the last. I've heard of Granbury, but I've never been. All the old buildings around the square have been converted into quaint little shops and restaurants. In the middle stands the county courthouse. It's French style, made of white bricks with a clock tower circa 1890. The town is charming. I'm immediately enthralled. Wow.
You like this place? I didn't think it would be your speed.
I frown. What do you mean?
I pegged you for more of a Paris, London, Milan type.
It was cool the first few times. Now I just prefer home. Well, I did. I don't really have one anymore. I own a house in LA, but it's never felt like home to me. He nods like he's mildly surprised by my answer.
Do you have any family who will panic if you don't surface for a few days?
I used to, but no. Rand stops at another light and whips his stare my way.
No one?
My parents divorced about a year after my first top 10 single. My mom remarried and had more kids. My dad... I shrug. I haven't heard from him in about 5 years. Something crosses his face. It's not exactly pity. Compassion? Definitely. Still, I see more. You don't have to feel sorry for me. I'm over it. His glance says he doesn't believe me. It feels as if this man can see through me when no one else can. I hate it. It's unnerving, yet it's weirdly comforting to be even slightly understood.
How often do you talk to your mom?
He asks. Once a month or so? For the past couple of years, the or so has been the norm. I think I last spoke to her in February. He shakes his head and accelerates through the now green light. Traffic is congested in the town square since they're kicking off their local 4th of July festival. Through the windows, I smell the savory scent of barbecue. Maybe I spoke too soon when I said I wasn't hungry, but I can't exactly hop out of Rand's truck wearing barely more than his shirt in a crowd full of people who will likely recognize me.
Sorry.
He takes my hand. I'm shocked, but I don't pull free. Why?
I've got a big-ass family. If I don't check in soon, they'll all start looking for me.
You said you have brothers?
3 of them. Ransom is the oldest, I'm second, then Rush, followed by Ridge. We're tight.
I'm envious. My half-siblings are all more than 10 years younger than me. One of them I've never even met. That must be nice.
Mostly. Inconvenient at times, but I wouldn't do life without them.
Suddenly Rand is even more mysterious. How old is he? Where did he grow up? What else is important to him? Who else? Oh shit, is he married? I release his hand. He plants it on the steering wheel and makes a left, heading into a residential neighborhood full of houses painted in soft colors with mature trees and well-manicured lawns. He pulls up in front of a yellow cottage with a wraparound porch and a pair of rocking chairs. In the gravel driveway, he stops the truck and hops out, shoves aside some bushes, then punches in a code to unlock a wide iron gate. Moments later, he pulls through the opening and parks under a carport adjacent to the backyard. The big lake shimmers beyond the chain-link fence straight ahead.
We're here.
He hops out.
Hang tight.
I do, watching as he jogs to the gate and closes it again, giving it a tug to ensure it's locked. I can't help but notice how tall and broad he is, how strong the steely bulges of his shoulders and arms are, how utterly gorgeous he looks when the Texas sun bounces off the slight waves of his blue-black hair. Then he turns and heads for me before offering me a hand out of the truck. As he leads me to the back door, flanked by a flagstone patio and a garden with colorful, summery flowers, I try not to stare. He stops beside the barbecue, opens the door around back, lifts the propane tank, then produces a key.
We're in.
Thank goodness. Now that we've reached relative safety, all I want is a shower, clean clothes, and I'm sad to say, a good cry. But I buck up. You lead, I'll follow. His stare lingers on me for a disarmingly long moment before he inserts the key and turns the knob. Inside, the place is homey with what looks like original wide plank pine floors. A comfortable brown sofa takes up the far corner of the room. There are a few other mismatched chairs, all facing a massive TV on the nearest wall. A ceiling fan spins lazily above us, and the midday sun pours in through a bay window.
Come in. I'll give you a tour. It'll be quick because the place isn't big.
Sure.
Half bath through that door.
He points beyond the sofa.
And the kitchen.
I follow to find it situated behind the far wall. The white cabinets and matching tile counters are from another age, but the range is new. I could cook here for sure. Adjacent to that is a farm table in the nook space that seats 6. In the hallway, across from a pair of wide windows that show off the side yard, sits a state-of-the-art washer and dryer behind a pair of distressed doors that tell me the utility cubby was once a closet. At the end of the hall is the first of the cottage's 2 bedrooms. It's inescapably romantic. The wall behind the bed is a floor-to-ceiling rustic wood detail with a wrought iron filigree design hanging just above the massive cherry wood headboard. The bed itself looks like a queen-size cushion of white fluff, accompanied by a mountain of dreamy, lacy pillows. A chandelier completes the look, along with a petite bedside table that serves as both a nightstand and a desk. The attached bath is small and painted in soft shades of gray, reminding me that this house was probably built 100 years ago, maybe more. Whoever owns it has spruced up the bathroom with a pedestal sink, a stylish framed mirror, and a big clawfoot tub with an old-fashioned faucet. But I also see a shower head jutting from the wall. A little shelf nearby holds a stack of clean white towels.
Except for the bedroom at the other end of the house with a set of bunk beds, that's it.
Rand shrugs. I'm fascinated by the way his massive shoulders work and the rippling of his arms. Hell, I'm fascinated by him in general. But he's not the reason I'm here, and I need to start thinking about things that are truly important, like who wants me dead. It's cute.
Ransom's friend sometimes rents it out to people he knows. During a holiday, he would usually be here, but he's in the middle of a divorce, so it's a no on the fun family getaways.
I know how that goes. I'm sorry to hear that. With bunk beds, I assume they have kids.
A girl and a boy. Both almost teenagers now, I think.
That makes the split even sadder. Or maybe just more familiar. Rand takes my hand and leads me back down the hall, leaving me beside the sofa.
Let's make a list of everything we need for now. I'm thinking we'll be here a couple of days, maybe more.
Until now, I haven't given much thought about how long we'll have to lie low. You mean until we figure out who shot at me?
Or we can discern some other way to keep you safe long term.
Now that we're here and I'm feeling calmer than I have in a few hours, one question pelts my brain. Why are you doing this? Most bodyguards just get the client out of the dangerous situation and wash their hands.
It's a fair question.
He lets out a breath.
2 reasons. First, I lost a client early in my career. A businessman on a trip to Mexico. It sucked, and I took a lot of heat for overlooking an angle of his protection. But I learned. Second, that's where I met Rob, and it means the world to me that he trusted me, of all people, with you. I know he's worked for you for a couple of years, and I know he's very fond of you.
He's a good guy. And it says a lot that he chose Rand to watch over me.
How long before the press is in a frenzy that you're missing?
They probably already are. Check Twitter and TMZ. Rand produces his phone, then thumbs and scrolls and scans the screen. He curses.
That didn't take long.
It never does. Being famous is a bit like living in a fishbowl. Everything you do runs a risk of being highly visible, and everyone thinks they have the right to know every aspect of your life.
I can't imagine.
He shakes his head.
We'll figure this out and get you where you should be as soon as possible, okay?
He's sweet for trying to reassure me, but I don't need you to sugarcoat this. I know keeping me safe won't be easy, especially since I don't have any idea who wants me dead.
Let's focus first on setting up here.
He looks me up and down with a wry smile.
You look great in my shirt, but I'm probably going to need it back since it's my only one. And I'm assuming you want something more your size.
That might be nice.
I'll see what I can do. For now, peek in the closet in the back bedroom. Joe's daughter probably keeps some clothes here. You're a little thing. Something might fit.
Sure.
Take a shower, if you'd like. I'll make a grocery list.
He pauses and pulls at the back of his neck.
You cook?
Love to when I get the chance. You don't?
I suck at it.
Honestly, I can't imagine this man being lousy at anything. He just seems so all-around capable, but his grousing makes me smile. You won't starve with me, and if you're nice, I'll even show you a thing or two.
I'd like that. I could repay the favor by showing you a thing or two.
Does he mean that as suggestively as it sounds? What kind of things?
Self-defense, marksmanship,
He shrugs.
whatever you need.
Great sex? At the thought, my cheeks turn hot. I'd like that, thanks. I'm going to get clean now.
I'll order groceries. Anything you're allergic to? Anything you really hate?
Beets and pickles. I'll eat about anything else.
You don't have a special celebrity diet? You're not a raw vegan or a fruitarian?
I roll my eyes. I'm a singer, not a model. Besides, I grew up in Texas, so I love a good barbecued side of cow. Do you actually know a fruitarian?
I dated one for about 10 minutes.
I hate the instant pinprick of jealousy. Of course, Rand has had a love life. I've had one too. But hearing about his bothers me more than it should. Why did you break up? He gives me a wry grin.
Because she didn't like barbecued cow.
I tisk at him, then head to the back of the house. My search through the kids' closet doesn't net much. I grab a few stretchy things I hope will fit, then hustle back to the master bath, passing Rand along the way, who's taking stock of the refrigerator. Once I'm alone, I go through the motions. Grab a towel, wriggle out of everything I'm wearing, rip off the false lashes, wait for the hot spray, lather, rinse, and repeat. But every time I close my eyes, I hear gunshots and screaming. I see people scattering, and I can't escape the horror that someone was aiming for me. When I was with Rand a few short minutes ago in the kitchen, I felt fine, safe. We were even joking. Now that I'm alone, the terror of the day catches up with me. I blow out a breath and try to calm myself, but there's no denying the ball of anxiety tightening my belly. Keeping myself busy helps, so I scrub my body until I'm almost raw. Then I squeeze out a bit of honey-scented shampoo and suds up. I'm grateful I spied a halfway decent facial cleanser in the medicine cabinet, along with a basic conditioner in the shower caddy. I'm still fighting tears during my final rinse, but I have to stop. I've got to be strong, and I need to figure out who wants me dead. Crying does none of that. Finally, I climb out of the shower, wrap my hair in a towel, and reach for the clothes. They fit, but they're like a second skin. As soon as I'm dressed, I look in the mirror, and my eyes nearly bulge from my head. The white tank is 2 sizes too small. Its hem flirts with my navel and flashes a wide strip of my abdomen. Without a bra, the thin shirt is almost pointless. I might as well be naked because my nipples are completely visible. Shit. The shorts aren't much better. They're black and hip-hugging, but they're so brief they settle into the groove at the top of my inner thigh and expose the bottom curve of my backside. Even standing in place, the tight spandex creeps between my cheeks and crawls up my vajayjay. I can't go out dressed like this, but I can't go out naked either. And right now, those are my only 2 options. Shaking out my wet hair from the towel wrapped around it, I finger-comb the pale mess as best I can, then quickly braid it. After a last look in the mirror, I toss the braid behind my shoulder and sigh. Yes, I've had costumes almost as revealing as this, and Rand is just an audience of 1. Despite our kiss, I don't have any real indication that he's interested. Yes, he was hard, but maybe that had more to do with adrenaline than me. And the longer I stand here and dither, the sillier I feel. I tug open the door and pad down the hall to the kitchen. It takes everything inside me not to cross my arms over my breasts self-consciously. Hey.
Chapter 4. Rand. Sophie's light footsteps alert me that she's out of the bathroom. I've already ensured the cottage and its perimeter are as safe as possible, then busied myself calling to order groceries from a local shop. Thankfully, Joe knows the owner since he lives down the street, so he'll let me pay with cash. I have to make sure no one can trace me, in case whoever's after Sophie knows I stand between her and him. Besides, Accomplishing that kept me from thinking about her naked, lush curves wet under the shower spray, touched by nothing but suds and her soft hands. Not going to lie, busting down the door and kissing her senseless crossed my mind. At her quiet greeting, I nod absently and launch a search on my phone for restaurants in the area. Groceries should be ready for pickup in a few hours. You've got to be hungry now. I'm starving. How about we call for pizza? We can cook dinner later. I turn to her. Does that sound... My words seize up when I see her. Suddenly I can't speak. I can't think. Hell, I can't even breathe. All I can do? Stare. She crosses her arms to cover her lush breasts and taut nipples.
I know everything is tight and transparent. It was the best I could find since this stuff belongs to a girl.
And you're definitely a woman. The words slip out as I prowl closer, unable to stop myself. I don't mean to be unprofessional. I'm sorry if I'm gawking. That's not all I want to do to Sophie, but I'm riding a dangerous line. I'm here to protect her, not seduce her, no matter how badly I'd like to. Get real. She's a famous celebrity dating an equally famous celebrity. Why would she be interested in an average guy like you?
I'm used to people looking at me.
Of course she is. I'll try not to be annoying.
You're not. And I swear I'm not trying to flash you.
I bite back the reply that she doesn't need to try on my account, but that's inappropriate. Pizza, okay?
Sure.
After that, we'll pick up the groceries I ordered. Then we should be set for a bit. The housekeeper comes tomorrow. I'll see if she can get you some clothes then, too. I can't go out and leave Sophie unprotected, and I'll have to figure out how to get more cash since I don't dare hit the ATM. But I have ideas and resources. I'll get it done.
Great. Do you know if there's a jacket or anything around here so I can cover up?
That's a good idea. It might keep me from ogling her, but probably not. I'll look. In the meantime, what do you like on your pizza? We agree to toppings while I find a kid's cardigan in gray. It's too small, and the edges cling to her breasts, which somehow only accentuates her assets. But it covers her nipples. Well, kind of. I also find a pair of flip-flops that almost fit. At least the ball cap I scrounged up will hide her face when we retrieve groceries later. Sophie sinks onto the couch and curls into herself. I call for the pizza. They'll also deliver a 2-liter bottle of soda with the pie in the next 30 minutes. I'm going to grab a shower before the delivery. The doors and windows are locked, and almost no one knows we're here. You should be safe, but if anything happens, come get me. She nods.
Thanks.
I hate leaving her alone, but this is the best opportunity to clean up, so I disappear into the bathroom and start the shower. Fuck, I can picture her standing in the clawfoot tub, water sluicing down her lithe body. I jerk my pants down in an effort to undress, but my cock stands up straight. Son of a bitch. Steam rises. As I step in, I contemplate taking my cock in hand and finding some relief, but I don't dare leave Sophie alone longer than necessary. My fantasy tour between her thighs will have to wait. Quickly, I lather up, rinse, and get out. Since I don't have any clean clothes, I dress again in what I wore earlier. Time to check on Sophie and grill her about her enemies. No way will I repeat my past mistakes. I won't lose her. As I'm tugging on my pants again, her tube of fuck-me red lipstick pokes me. I set it on the edge of the sink, wishing I could do exactly what the color suggests, but my phone buzzes. I'm not shocked to see one of my brothers calling. I'm only shocked I haven't heard from them sooner. Hey, Rush. Thank God you're okay. What the fuck happened this morning? I just saw the news. I'm fine. How are you? I toss back. Glad to hear you're alive. Not that you called to let any of us know. What were you going to do from Florida? Get on a plane if I had to. He'd do it, no doubt. It's under control, bro, I promise. I didn't think twice about you working that parade until I heard that shots were fired. Who were you protecting? This is completely on the down low. You've got to promise. Yeah, sure, you know me. I do. He's tight. Sophie Larson. No shit. She's fucking gorgeous. Tell me about it. She's also scared as hell right now. Whoever busted up that parade was shooting at her. Shit. The news speculated it was the work of an anti-government terrorist. I roll my eyes. You know better than to believe a cover story. That's why I called you. The police didn't catch him, by the way. I didn't think they had. The shooter was too good. Sure, his first shot went wide, probably because Sophie was dancing, but if I hadn't hustled her from the platform and out of the area, he would have offed her. And I know he's not giving up because he's either got a purpose or a mental illness. Either can be fatal. Yep. And I've got to figure out how to keep Sophie safe. Is everything okay with you? Fine. Shit's starting to happen here. I think my cover assignment is coming to an end. Rush would know. Life of a spy, huh? Don't say that shit over the phone. Rush is convinced the NSA records everything. Hell, he's probably right. Sorry, man. He doesn't offer more details about his job, and I don't ask. Given his line of work, there's only so much he can say. I gotta go. Sure. Check in, would you? Will do. Hey, do you know if Ridge is around? I talked to him last week. He's still working undercover, but he'll help if you need him. Great, thanks. He'll get me untraceable cash if I can't lay my hands on more anywhere else. Love you, bro. Rush never has trouble expressing his feelings. Maybe because he's learned the hard way that any day could be his last. Love you too. We hang up, and I yank on my shirt, then emerge from the bathroom. At the end of the hall, Sophie sits on the sofa in some cross-legged pose that would make me feel like a pretzel curled up with a book about Texas gardening. I breathe a sigh of relief. Learning anything? She looks up at me with a tired grin. Yes. Why I have a brown thumb. Apparently you have to be home to water your plants more than occasionally. That would help. Is your thumb greener than mine? I'd be lying if I said it was. I cross the room and sit in the big navy blue chair opposite her, then set my weapon on the nearby table. Sophie, I need to ask you some questions. She sets the book aside with a sigh. I know, but I really don't know who would want me dead. You're sure it's not a disgruntled family member? No. Like I said, my dad has written me off, my mom has moved on, and my half-siblings are all too young. Crazed fan. I guess it's always possible, but I can't think of one. Usually there are hallmarks, at least according to other celebs I've talked to. You know, they contact you, try to get your attention, make it personal, develop a relationship with you. And resort to violence when they feel spurned, yeah. None of that? She shakes her head. I got good advice early on to make fans feel important, but to keep them at arm's length. I do backstage meet and greets, but rarely invite the same person twice. I almost never respond to people on social media except with a vague thanks or glad you enjoyed it. I never engage the haters or the crazies, and until today I've never had a serious problem. Sounds like you've done a good job. This shooter didn't function like someone acting out of emotion. He was too organized. He had a plan, a backup, and an exit strategy, which is the hallmark of someone experienced. He may even be a professional. Sophie sucks in a breath. A professional? Who would pay to have me killed? Someone who feels you've done them wrong, who can't afford to get their hands dirty, and who has the cash to throw at an assassin. That should narrow your list. Anyone who feels you've stabbed them financially? Other than a change of agents a few years ago, I've been doing business with essentially the same people since I started. Same label, same producers. How's your relationship with David? It's great. And your former agent, how did he or she take the split?
She was pissed, but after an initial outburst, she reined it in because she's getting residuals from my older material, which still racks up airplay and downloads.
Sophie has a point, but I'm not writing off either agent yet. Former lovers?
There aren't that many, and I still speak to all of them.
She wrinkles her nose.
In some ways, the music industry is like living in a small town.
Everyone knows everyone?
Mostly.
I think back to the list of men who have been associated with Sophie in gossip rags, but their public personas come off like the sensitive coffeehouse sorts, not anyone dangerous. But I'm not judging a book by its cover. Ever felt unsafe with any of them?
No.
Have you ever been involved with a non-celebrity?
Not really.
Not sexually? I feel guilt for probing her sex life. It's not strictly necessary, but it also can't hurt to be thorough, right? Fuck, I'm rationalizing and I know it. She shakes her head.
No.
So you can't think of a former ex who might want you dead?
None of those relationships were very serious. We'd meet at a music festival, pose for a few pictures at a party or a restaurant, and be seen together at an awards ceremony. I mean, sure, we tried to make a personal life work, but when you're recording and on the road and constantly busy, trying to find time to be with your significant someone who has the same challenges is next to impossible.
It both makes sense and sounds lonely. It also narrows my list of potential suspects. What about your current squeeze? That British guy, Graham, what's his name?
Normeth, no.
She bites her lip. When she releases it, the plumpest part of her mouth goes from pink to rosy red and tempts the fuck out of me. She tempts the fuck out of me. I take a deep breath and force myself to focus. No, you don't think it's him?
I don't, and he's not my squeeze.
Now she's lying. There were pictures of you on social media kissing him 2 weeks ago, with the caption that you're planning to buy a house together. Try again.
I'm serious. The relationship is all for show. We have the same agent. He's coming off a hot tour, and his first album was a bestseller. I've been lying low and recording for months, gearing up for a tour. Dating me gives him the appearance of being established. Dating him gives me the appearance of still being hip and hot right now, but we've never...
She shakes her head.
He's not interested.
Gay?
No, he likes women, but he's... got a thing about cougars. I'm only 24. According to him, I don't have enough mileage, and I don't know what I want yet.
Out of a relationship?
Out of sex. He prefers a woman who asserts herself between the sheets.
And that's not you? Does she want a man to take charge in bed? Sophie clams up.
Can we focus on who might want to kill me? It's not Graham.
It doesn't sound as if he fits the mold. Who are the other people in your life?
I have an assistant, but Tanya just had a baby, so she's back in Cali with her husband and her mom. Oh, then there's my best friend.
She winces.
Christy is going to be pissed I haven't called to tell her I'm okay.
Is she in L.A. too?
No, Frisco.
San Francisco? She shakes her head.
Texas. You know, not far from the giant IKEA store. We were supposed to get together tonight. Can I call her?
No doubt my refusal is all over my face before I answer. It would be better if we waited long enough to home in on who would want you dead. Christy doesn't have a jealousy problem?
God, no. The one time I tried to drag her on stage with me, she ran off puking. She wouldn't want my life. And she wouldn't want me 6 feet under.
Another dead end. Who gets your money if you're gone?
I provided a flat amount for my mother. That should make her happy. The rest goes to various charities I'm passionate about.
In other words, no one seems motivated to offer for cash. Can you think of anyone you've pissed off? Tell me more about your relationship with David.
It's fine. He's one of the best, and he's taken my career to another level since I hired him 4 years ago. I consider him a friend. Hell, I was one of his attendants when he married his husband Alan last year. They're lovely.
and I'm frustrated. There's someone out there who... A knock on the door interrupts me. Sophie stiffens as I grab my weapon with one hand and gesture her to the back bedroom with the other. No one can see her, but it's just the kid delivering pizza, happy for the tip I give him and the cool air conditioning wafting his way from the cottage. Less than a minute later, Sophie and I open the piping hot pizza and the fizzy soda and dig in. It's decent. Or maybe I think that because I'm hungry, but I lose my appetite for food quicker than I should when I hear Sophie moaning with every bite. It would be better if you didn't do that. She looks perplexed.
Do what?
Moan while you eat.
It's a bad habit I have whenever I eat something I love. If you think this is loud, you should hear me with white chocolate truffles.
She cocks her head.
Sorry, does it bother you?
Do you want me to be honest?
Of course.
Might as well get the truth out in the open. She'll probably figure it out anyway. When you make those noises, all I think about is fucking you. Her eyes go wide.
That's really honest.
I typically am, so if you don't want me to think about dragging you to bed, peeling off everything you're wearing, and kissing my way between your legs, eat quietly.
Chapter 5. Sophie. Heat flashes through my body. One look into his dark eyes tells me he's serious. Suddenly I can't think about anything except him naked on top of me, pleasuring me before I please him in return. Don't be crazy, you barely know him. What if he's the type to kiss and tweet? Actually, I'm full. I set my pizza crust aside and rinse my plate.
I shocked you. I'm sorry.
He approaches from behind, maintaining a professional distance, but I'm painfully aware that all I have to do is turn and take a few steps to have my hands and lips on him. I swallow back the impulse. I might not care much about putting my image in jeopardy anymore, but we're two ships whose paths will probably never cross again. If I weren't famous and I wasn't running for my life, I'd jump on him, here and now. But I shouldn't distract him. I wish I could say yes. Think I'll take a nap. It's not even 2 o'clock and it's been a long day.
Can't argue with that. Groceries will be ready in an hour.
Thanks. I nod and head to the back bedroom. Anything to put distance between us. As soon as I'm alone, I shut the door and tear off the slightly scratchy sweater, then crawl between the sheets and close my eyes. I'm tired, but sleep won't come. I can't erase the pandemonium of the parade or its terror. I also can't escape the fact that Rand is in the next room, and I've never been more attracted to a man in my life. Sleep isn't happening. What the hell am I going to do? I can't hide in Granbury forever. How soon will this killer come after me again? I hate being a sitting duck, but it's not safe in public until I find out who's after me. And resisting my desire for Rand isn't easy. Maybe I could do it for a few days, but what if our seclusion turns into weeks? I close my eyes again. His face swims in my head. His dark, intent eyes, his scar, his brutally sensual mouth. I tingle when I remember the way he kissed me. I shudder at the memory of his hot stare when he said he thought about fucking me. Maybe it's all the stress, but I feel ready to explode. My options for relief are sorely limited. I roll over. My hard as nails nipples drag across the blanket, and I can't help but moan. I bite my lip and swallow the sound, but there's no getting around the fact I'm wound unbearably tight. The need coiled between my legs keeps clenching and throbbing. I can barely remember the last time I had sex. It wasn't memorable. Or maybe I only feel that way because I'm fixated on Rand. I need relief. Now. I tell myself I shouldn't, but I cup my breasts and squeeze. Excitement flares, My fingers slide over my sensitive flesh until I'm pinching the tight nubs. It isn't enough. I focus on my nipples through the thin cotton, grasping harder. Pleasure jolts straight to my clit. I gasp, then bite back the sound and squeeze again. Everything between my legs demands attention, so I slide one palm over my skin, down my abdomen, and inside the tighter-than-hell shorts. I'm beyond wet, and when I press a pair of fingers against my needy nub, desire shoots through my veins. I arch into the sensation. This time there's no stopping my moan. One hand rubs, the other clutches. Everything sharpens, my blood boils. The ecstasy is so thick I'm in a haze. I want orgasm. I need orgasm. It comes fast and hot with deep pants and helpless moans, but my relief is short-lived. A killer is still after me. Rand is in the next room, and my body isn't at all satisfied. It keeps pulsing, my thoughts on a non-stop loop of Rand towing off his boots, peeling off his shirt, then joining me on the bed as he works his jeans open, spreads me wide, and impales me deep. Damn, I need to stop panting for him and start considering my next moves. A soft knock has me scrambling. I drag the sheet over my body and tuck it under my neck. Yes? Slowly, the door opens. Rand fills the opening, standing almost as tall, shoulders almost as wide.
You okay?
Of course. But I'm not. I'm sure I look guilty as sin. His expression tells me he knows exactly what I was up to.
David called. I let it go to voicemail. I've wanted to talk to you again before I decide how or if I should respond.
Give me a minute to stop aching for you. Get up. I'll meet you in the living room.
Sure.
He ducks out and shuts the door. I let out a breath. Damn it, my self-inflicted orgasm only made me crave him more, and we'll be here together alone for who knows how long. I'm in deep trouble. With a sigh, I shrug into the gray sweater I'd peeled off earlier and stretch. How am I going to face Rand? Buck up and brazen it out, sister. I pad down the hall and find him prowling the living room. When I enter, he stops and turns to me.
You didn't sleep, did you?
No way am I asking how he knows that. No. What did David say?
He wants to know if you're all right and where you are. He's fielding questions from the press and he doesn't know how to answer.
Rand is asking me if I'm willing to risk my life on my hunch that David doesn't want me dead. I am. My gut tells me David would never harm me. Hell, he cried for days when he and Alan had to put their cat down a few months back. He's a gentle soul, except when it comes to fame and fortune. Still, I'm convinced he wouldn't kill someone for it. Claw, punch, lie, cheat, and steal? Absolutely. I admit David is ruthless, but he's not violent. I trust him.
Then we have to be strategic. Whatever we tell David will be what the public and your shooter knows.
Rand is right. Maybe we shouldn't answer. I don't want to hurt your reputation as a bodyguard.
It's not my main gig anymore.
He shrugs.
I was doing this as a favor to Rob, but that doesn't mean I'm not damn good at it.
Rand has already proven that. So, what's your recommendation?
Let David and the world wonder if you're dead for now, at least until we compile a list of suspects and start running them down.
Rand darkens his phone and tucks it away. Thanks. I'll try not to be too much of a hassle and take too much of your time. I'll make sure you get paid incredibly well for all you've done.
That's nice, but not my number one priority. This is personal now.
Because someone tried to off me on his watch? Or because I actually mean something to him? Silence fills the room and stretches between us. Rand stares, and I feel compelled to gaze back. My body, totally unimpressed by my earlier climax, tightens and throbs again. What is it about this man that makes me so desperate for him? So, if you don't cook, how do you feed yourself? It's the most roundabout way I can think of to ask if there's a woman in his life.
A combination of takeout, rotisserie chicken, and well-meaning friends. Why?
Just curious. But my reply comes too fast.
Because?
He steps closer.
What is it you really want to know?
Of course, he sees through my silly question. The longer I don't answer, the more he pins me in place with his dark, hot eyes. Nothing, I mumble. Making conversation. He doesn't move or blink for long moments. I find myself holding my breath, waiting on his every move and word. Finally, he pulls his keys from his pocket and tosses me the ball cap from the nearby table.
That's fine. But if you were wondering if there's any woman in my life who cooks for me, the answer is no. Then again, if that's what you were trying to find out, and you weren't honest with me, I'd toss you over my knee and spank your ass red for lying. So, it's good you weren't fishing to find out.
He shrugs.
Put the cap on, find the flip-flops, and let's go.
Sure, I say automatically as I don the hat. But in my head, there's an entirely different litany. Spank me? Yes, he'd spank me. Shock and excitement both ping my overstimulated body as I slide into the kid's sandals. My heels hang slightly over the back, but it doesn't matter since I probably won't exit the truck. Then he ushers me to his vehicle. His hand on the small of my back does crazy things to my libido. The trip to the grocery store is quiet. Rand concentrates on the road, but the tension in the cab is thick. I feel it. The longer I'm close to him, the more the fine hairs on my arms stand up. He feels it too. Nothing he says or does tells me that, but the awareness between us is both undeniable and unbearable. When we arrive at the store, he pulls into a spot at the edge of the lot and whips out his phone, types a message, then taps his thumb impatiently on the steering wheel. He's keyed up. Me too. What will happen once the sun falls, darkness sweeps in, and temptation rises? I'm picturing every delicious possibility when someone knocks on Rand's tinted window. He lowers it halfway.
Hal? Yeah.
The older man replies, then gestures to a shopping cart behind him.
I got everything you asked for. Thanks. Can you load it in the back seat?
He thumbs behind him at the empty bench.
Sure.
Rand hands over some cash, and Hal piles the plastic-bagged groceries behind our seats. I keep my face turned away, pressed down toward my shoulder as if I'm half asleep. As far as I can tell, he barely gives me a second glance.
I also rounded up the extras you asked for.
Hal smiles, then glances my way as he hands over a paper bag. The neck of what seems like a wine bottle sticks up.
Good luck.
Rand takes it and sets it between us.
Thanks.
Then he rolls up the window and we're off, heading back to the cottage. I'm fascinated by the mystery bag. What's that?
Something for later.
He's intentionally vague, and I find myself more curious than ever. Meaning? He turns to me, dark brow raised in subtle rebuke.
Meaning you'll find out later.
It's high-handed. Maybe I should be mad, but his hint of dominance makes me shiver. Once we arrive back at the cheerful yellow cottage, he takes the mystery bag, in addition to most of the other groceries. I bring in the rest and start putting things away.
I guessed what we might need, but there should be enough supplies for a few days.
Totally. From what I can tell, he thought of everything. Can you grill?
Do I have a Y chromosome?
He shoots back with a grin. Obviously. Let's do that for dinner.
Deal. In the meantime, I'm going to hole up in the kids' bedroom and do some research. I've got a few thoughts about who might be after you, but I want to do my homework first.
He's being responsible, and I feel stupidly disappointed for wishing. But no. I'll, sit at the kitchen table with a paper and pen. Maybe try to write something for a future album.
You write your own songs?
Sometimes. But I've been a little dry on material lately. Life has been dull. So much of the same. Record, appear, travel, pose, in an endless loop over and over. Anyway, that's where I'll be if you have questions. He nods, checks the doors and windows again, then disappears to the back of the house. I find a pencil and a piece of paper, then sit, but the words don't come. Instead, I turn on some cable channel that's playing game shows and start chopping melons for a fruit salad and fixings for our burgers. I slap together patties and season them. Preparing dinner feels domestic. What if I cooked for Rand every day? That fantasy plays dangerously in my head until the sun slants through the room and dusk begins to draw near. He steps into the kitchen, big body taut, face tense.
You okay?
Fine, I say as I ready the meat on a platter and start baked beans on the stove.
Looks good.
I almost make some quip about the man thinking with his stomach, but when I look at where he's fastened his stare, I see the too tight sweater has slid away from my nipples. He hasn't once blinked. Rand suddenly clears his throat.
I'll go start the grill.
Then he's gone. Dinner is a quiet affair. He pulls out a bottle of Merlot from the mystery bag that so intrigued me at the grocery store and pours me a glass as we sit to eat. You're not having one?
I don't drink on the job. You go ahead. After the day you've had, you're due some liquid relaxation.
Normally I wouldn't, but I have a suspicion I'm going to need booze to make it through an evening this close to Rand. Every hour that ticks by, I'm more aware of him. The tension turns thicker. My body feels achier. What would he do if I kissed him right now? He spoons up baked beans from the pan as I toss some lettuce and ketchup on my burger.
Talk to me about your previous agent.
Dorinda? This isn't where I thought the conversation would head next. We started in the business together, really. I was young and green, so was she. I got discovered at a school talent show. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I nod. I sang some Kelly Clarkson song with Christy and another one of our friends. I had all the high notes and the powerhouse ending. In the audience, the uncle of my piano-playing classmate was watching. He was from L.A. and knew some people. A couple of weeks later, I was recording demos and getting interest from record labels. Everything happened so fast after that. But when my parents' divorce went down, Mom was absent a lot. Dorinda stepped in as a surrogate mother figure. When I eventually left her, the guilt almost killed me, but she just didn't have the contacts I needed to rehab my image from child star to serious adult musician.
That's where David came in.
Yes. Dorinda made a lot of my early deals. She got me into the right doors, but she also sold me really short. David negotiated better terms for me and raised my profile significantly in all the right ways.
So you're happy now?
I'm happy with David. But professionally? I shrug, then sip at my wine. I don't know. Lately I've been thinking a lot about taking a break. Well, about walking away, but I haven't told anyone yet.
Why don't you?
I've worked for over a dozen years to get here. It seems foolish to let up now.
But you want to?
I swallow another sip of wine. What's the point of all this money if I never have time to enjoy it? He nods.
Good point.
Tell me about you.
Not much to say. I'm 32 and single. I left the Dallas Police Department recently to become Bartonville's chief. For a while now, I've wanted to join a smaller force where I could make a real difference. I start next month.
Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to moving out to the country and getting some peace without neighbors stacked on top of me. I move into my new place next week.
I'm envious. I'd love some peace. I feel like this career chose me before I was even old enough to grasp what it entailed. He nods as if he understands.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Dorinda? What's her financial situation?
I made us both rich, and now she reps other up-and-coming child stars.
She married? Have kids?
No, she always said she was married to her job and her clients were like her children. Why? Do you suspect her? He shrugs.
I suspect everyone, until I can prove otherwise.
When we're done eating, we wash the dishes together. Since the kitchen is old-fashioned, there's no dishwasher. As I clean the plates, he dries them. Rubbing arms as we tidy up feels even more domestic. And every time we bump or touch, I swear my body revs higher. After he slides the last of the forks into the drawer and I put away the clean pots, he turns my way.
Wanna head down to the lake and watch the fireworks? They should start shortly, and it's almost dark, so no one should see us.
Might as well enjoy the holiday. It beats sitting around here trying not to stare at him and wondering what the night might bring. Sure. I make a last-minute trip to the bathroom and brush on a bit of the red lipstick for panache. My vivid mouth on my otherwise bare face demands attention, and I'm suddenly glad my stylist insisted I take the tube with me. When I emerge again, Rand has poured me some wine into a plastic cup. He takes my hand and leads me out the back of the house, across the yard, then through a gate to a pair of enormous oak trees with a bench swing suspended between them by a thick rope. The sun slips closer to the horizon as the vivid purples, pinks, oranges, and yellows paint the sky. Rand settles me on the bench and hands me my cup, scanning every inch of our surroundings before he sits beside me. I can't see it, but I'm betting his gun is tucked into his holster. Thanks for everything. I feel really safe with you.
You don't have to keep thanking me.
I just want you to know. Besides Dorinda, who are your other suspects?
I still haven't written off David.
I think you're wrong. He shrugs.
You're entitled to that since you know him better. Hell, you're probably right, but you're not defending Dorinda.
I would because in the last few years she's mostly treated me like I'm beneath her notice since she has other fish to fry. But the day I ended things with her was really ugly. She called me a fucking bitch and said I owed her and that she'd given me everything, which I repaid by stabbing her in the back. She low-key threatened me. Of course, she called the next day and left me a message with a stiff apology, but the whole episode left a bitter taste in my mouth. Rand nods.
Last call on former lovers. Wanna tell me about them so I can decide whether they belong on the list?
I take another sip of my wine. Maybe I've had enough liquid courage to be bold. Maybe I'm just too aroused to care how I sound anymore, but I finally say what's going through my head. Do you really want to know about my exes to make a suspect list, or because you want to know the kind of guy I'm into? He sends me a hot, direct stare.
What if I said both?
The few exes I have are all friends, but I don't really have a type. I lick my suddenly dry lips, loving the way his gaze follows the gesture. Or I didn't until you. Rand doesn't respond, just stares into my eyes, then down at my painted red lips. His breaths turn rougher. My skin pings with electricity. I blink back at him, willing him to say or do something. I've never felt as vulnerable as I do right now. What are you thinking? I whisper.
Things that would probably scare the hell out of you.
My heart skips a beat. What do you mean?
I'm compiling a list of everything I'm dying to do to you. It's long, detailed and filthy.
My pussy clenches. A whimper escapes my throat. Please. He moves like lightning, plucking me from the bench and settling me astride his lap. The full cup of my wine sloshes over the rim and onto my white tank. The soaked shirt sticks to my skin, and I don't care. Neither does he. The cup falls from my grasp, and I wrap my arms around his neck. He grabs my nape and hauls me closer, branding my lips with his in a fiery kiss that sizzles every inch of my body. Rand isn't content. His fingers on my neck tighten as he slants his mouth and nudges mine open before plunging inside, deep and possessive. He masters me in that instant, and I fear I'll never crave another man's kiss the way I do his. It's electrifying and terrifying, but there's no going back. Rand wraps his arms around my waist, clutching me tighter. When he's eliminated every sliver of space between us, he barges deeper into my mouth, stealing more of my soul. I can't breathe, and I can't think, and I don't care. I've never felt as alive as I do right this moment. But I need more. Another whimper escapes my throat as I writhe on his lap. There's no way I can miss how solid and strong he is, and how thick and steely he feels between my legs as I work myself against his cock. My pussy aches, my clit burns, my unsatisfied body is on fire. I tear my lips away. What are you doing to me?
Everything you'll let me.
He pants as his gaze falls to my tank.
Starting with sucking on those pretty fucking nipples.
That's all the warning I get before he lifts me to my knees, aligns my crests with his waiting mouth, then fastens onto one, cotton and all, drawing it deep, before sliding to the other as if he can't taste enough of me. He sucks on my tank-clad tips, long, strong, and deep. I feel him all the way between my legs. It's like nothing I've ever imagined. We're still fully clothed, and he's barely had his hands on me for 2 minutes. My body is already weeping for the satisfaction I'm convinced only he can give me. Rand, I cling to his shoulders, tossing my head back and arching to offer him my breasts.
That's a good girl, honey. Give them to me.
He switches to the other, feasting until I'm damn near out of my mind. Then he eases back with a teasing lick.
Get rid of the shirt and show me what's mine.
Maybe I should worry about his possessive demand, but I'm greedy, I'm needy. His words only work me up more. I drop one strap of the tank, then the other, and let the garment slither down to my waist. My bare breasts bob in his face, inches from his lips. He stares at them, then looks up at me. A wide, suggestive smile beams across his face as he cups my flesh and leans in.
Fuck yes.
His hot exhalation spreads across my skin, making me shudder, but that's nothing compared to the furnace of his mouth enveloping my nipple and dragging it into its hot depths. Fresh desire scalds my veins. The lust I've been trying not to give into since the moment I laid eyes on him overtakes my good sense. I don't care that there are revelers at the shore who might hear us. I don't care that people are boating on the lake who might guess what we're up to. I can't think beyond Rand and his arms banded tightly around me while we're sheltered in the cocoon of our closeness by the giant branches and swaying leaves of the stately oaks. We're wrapped together in our own world, in this moment seemingly made just for the two of us. His touch is demanding, but I feel him holding back. Desperate for him to simply take everything he wants as he takes me. I dig my fingers into his shoulders, breaths harsh and rapid. More now, please. He licks his way up the side of my breast, nips at my shoulder, then settles his lips against my ear.
I'm trying to take this slow and gentle, but you sound so pretty begging.
I don't need gentle. I just need you.
Be sure, honey. If you say yes, I'll fuck you ruthlessly and hard, and I won't stop.
His words alone make my knees weak. Hurry. He hesitates a split second, then sets me on my feet. Before I know what's happening, he rips his t-shirt over his head. His tank follows, and I get my first glimpse of his bare torso. The darkening shadows of dusk outline his thick neck, wide shoulders, and bulging pectorals. Distended veins rise from his beefy arms and big hands. His 8-pack is deeply delineated, emphasizing the notches above his hips protruding over the waistband of his jeans. He drips strength. He oozes vitality. My eyes bulge. I'm literally speechless. But that's okay. Why waste time talking? I lunge at him, wanting my hands and mouth on him. He grabs my shoulders to stop me.
Stand.
Now? I've never wanted to touch anything or anyone more in my life. In a minute, please, just let me. His grip on my shoulders turns firmer.
Later. Right now, you get to make one choice. Do you want me to fuck you or spank you first?
I search his face. He's not kidding. Excitement whirls in my belly.
Can't decide, can you?
A sly smile curls up his mouth.
I figured you for a dirty girl.
Then he yanks my tight, stretchy shorts down to my ankles, hauls me face down across his lap, and pins me in place with a huge palm sprawled across my back. Rand?
Spanking it is. You'll have to be quiet, or the neighbors will hear.
I struggle to bite my lip and keep my pleading in, but need muddles me too much for silence. Before I know it, his free hand whooshes down with a hard slap on my backside. It hurts like hell, but I swallow my yelp to protect our privacy. The neighbors running to my rescue would only end in disaster and scandal. Then Rand rubs his palm over the flaring heat, pressing it back into my flesh. What felt like pain now feels altogether different. Suddenly I'm more alive, more aroused, and more wet. Oh my God, I gasp out.
Ever been spanked?
No. Without warning or mercy, he slides his hands between my legs, cupping my pussy in his big palm, rubbing me as if he owns me.
You like it?
I can't stop myself from grinding against him. Yes.
Good girl.
The satisfaction in his words seeps into my blood, making my desire burn hotter. He turns up the flames even more by landing a quick succession of alternating blows on each cheek. I'm panting and struggling to process these new sensations when he leans in.
I'm going to give you 2 more.
Why? Not that I'm upset.
Well, I could tell you that one swat is for the pleasure you gave yourself earlier today that was mine to give you, and the other is because you lied about it.
How did you know?
Oh, honey, I heard you. Next time your pussy aches, come to me. I'll take care of it.
Will there be a next time? If I want him to put out this fire he started, now isn't the time to ask. All right.
Good. So I'll be honest and tell you I'm adding 2 more because your pretty pert ass has taunted me all afternoon, and I can't wait to spank it more.
He smacks each cheek once, then seals the heat in with another pressing stroke of his palm, groaning in obvious satisfaction.
Even in this light, you look sweet and rosy.
Knowing he's pleased arouses me even more, but I don't have time to bask in the moment before he rips the spandex shorts from around my ankles and tosses them aside. In one smooth motion, he sets me on my feet again, rips open his fly, and reaches into his pocket. After a quick rip of the square foil between his teeth, he sheathes himself, lifts me up to straddle his lap again, aligning his crest with my burning, clenching opening.
Look at me.
I can't look anywhere else. Yes.
Mine.
He grabs my hips and pulls me down as he surges up, joining us together. His cock juts deep into my body, and I swear I feel him all the way to my soul. Yes.
Chapter 6. Rand. The moment I bury myself inside Sophie, liquid pleasure jets down my spine. She doesn't just feel good, she feels right. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe this is just a fling for her. Maybe she'll walk away from me as soon as she's safe. But the way she's looking at me now with her misty blue eyes full of wonder and need, I don't think so. I'm going to do my damnedest to make sure leaving is the last thing she wants. Say you're mine, I prompt.
I'm yours.
I lift her up my shaft and hold her steady. She whimpers, clutching me as she attempts to wriggle her way down, but I won't relent. Not yet. Again.
I'm yours, Rand. All yours.
The delicious whine in her voice makes me crave her even more. With a lift of my hips, I shove her down, working myself even deeper. Her head falls back, and the last remnants of the sunset make her body gleam golden. Jesus, she's like every fantasy I've ever had, her gasp dripping pleasure, her lush breasts bobbing, her pussy gripping me so tight. But it's her eyes that slay me. I see all of her, even the feelings she tries to hide. The connection we have isn't one-sided. My heart kicks into high gear. I'm falling for you.
I'm falling too.
Perfect. We can fall together. The thought zips through my brain, chased by a need to kiss her. I slant my lips over hers. She opens to me without barriers or hesitation. I dive deep, taking possession of her mouth, just as I'm doing to her body. She falls against me, clings to me, melts into me, and I'm lost to her. If I had a bed, I'd lay her out, scoop her in my arms, and heap pleasure on her all night. In fact, I probably will. Later. Right now, I'm all in with Sophie, stroke after stroke after stroke, lifting her up my shaft, then pulling her back down onto me as I rise up to meet her. The holiday fireworks begin, bursting big and bright over the lake. Faint oohs and ahs murmur from people near the water. Since they're far away, I focus on Sophie. I brace my hand on her hip and settle my thumb over her clit, teasing without mercy. It isn't long before she tightens and whimpers into my kiss. I take her tongue, penetrate her body, and tell her without words that before I release her, I intend to own her heart. Sophie puts up no resistance. Instead, she welcomes me deeper. Every inch of me she takes, I give her more of my soul. There's no way I'm relinquishing her, even after I catch this predator hunting her. Behind Sophie, the fireworks burst again, vivid and dazzling, an explosion of colors. Desire surges. Above me, she tenses. Her breaths stutter. Her cunt tightens. You there, honey?
Yes.
She pants, head bobbing.
Yes.
Thank freaking God. Come for me. Frantically, she nods, her breaths turning even choppier as her skin takes on a rosy tint visible under the stark white light of the latest firework. That sexy red mouth of hers widens into the shape of an O as she drags in a shuddering breath and squeezes my cock mercilessly. Then her head falls back as another colorful explosion brightens the sky, and I cover her mouth as she screams. Her quaking orgasm destroys the last of my self-control. I bury my face in her neck, latching on to the tender skin there, and groan through the most dazzling, destructive ecstasy I've ever felt in my life. When it's over, I can barely breathe. I feel flattened. What the fuck was that? I don't know, but I'm happy as hell. My body stops pulsing, but I still need to hold her close. Sophie,
I think I love you,
she admits between audible breaths. She's not kidding, and that's more than all right with me. I think I love you too. A big smile stretches across her face.
So, are the fireworks over?
I don't know about the ones celebrating the holiday. Ours, not a chance. Why?
I want to go back to the cottage and do that again.
Fuck, she's perfect for me. Same. Let's go. I lift her off my lap and set her on wobbly feet. It takes a few moments to locate her clothes, but we finally put them on for the short trek to the cottage. I'd love to keep her naked, but we've already taken more risk with her safety and public image than we should. Besides, this will give me the opportunity to undress her all over again. Once I've got my zipper up and the rest of my gear in place, I take her hand and lead her toward the cottage. Happy? She grins at me.
Very. But how did you just happen to have condoms?
I made a calculated guess. When I texted Hal that we'd arrived to pick up the groceries, I asked him to bring a bottle of wine and a box of them.
They were in that bag?
Yep.
Sitting right between us?
She looks so adorably shocked that I have to laugh. Yep.
No wonder he wished you good luck.
She gives me a good-natured shake of her head. I wanted you.
I wanted you to.
Sophie breathes.
Still, you were awfully sure of yourself.
I think you proved I had a reason to be.
I can't argue with that.
She wobbles and reaches out for my hand with a hiss.
Ouch.
What? I stop, looking on with concern.
I just stepped on a rock.
A glance down tells me her feet are bare. Where are your flip-flops?
I don't know. They fell off somewhere near the swing.
Damn it. The path ahead is too rocky for her to go on. Stay here. I'll get them. I don't want you to hurt yourself.
Thanks. I didn't realize how rocky this path is.
I hate to leave her alone for even as long as it takes to fetch the flip-flops. But if I don't, her feet won't be thanking either of us later. With a quick jog, I reach the swing again, towing the discarded condom under a bush while searching for the sandals. Finally, I find the rubbery pink soles with the black, glittery straps and scoop them up, then turn back for the cottage. Behind me, more fireworks explode overhead, but I don't mind missing out. The pyrotechnics I want are waiting for me with Sophie. I never imagined when I woke up this morning that I'd be Sophie Larson's lover and losing my heart to her by nightfall. But there's no going back now, for either of us. Shelving the rest of my philosophical thoughts, I lengthen my steps up the hill to get back to her side. At the top, I spot her silhouette standing in the moonlight. But she's not alone. Someone stands beside Sophie with a cruel grip on her arm and a gun pointed at her head.
Chapter 7. Sophie. As Rand disappears down the hill to find my shoes, I fight a loopy grin. I'm in love. Yes, it sounds crazy, even to me, and I'm living this reality, but Rand has been everything I've wanted in a man and a partner since the moment we met. The instant zing was a clue. The way we naturally worked to solve problems together hinted that we share something special. And the sex... I let out a long sigh because I've never felt pleasure like that in my life. I never even dreamed it was possible. But now what? We have really different lives. How do we tackle that? I've been thinking for a while that I don't want to spend the rest of my life in the spotlight. I miss having a real home, but if Rand is in the picture, I can't drag him from concert to concert or ask him to wait at home alone. And what if we have kids? I'd like to someday. Oh my gosh, you met this guy today and you're already thinking marriage and babies? Okay, I'm probably getting ahead of myself. I need to downshift and... Suddenly a clicking noise sounds behind me and I feel something cold against the back of my skull. Hello, Sophie. I know that voice. Just like I know what's prodding my scalp. My heart trips into overdrive. Why are you holding a gun to my head, Dorinda? The answer should be obvious since I tried to have you killed this morning. I made sure Rob's food got poisoned last night, so I assumed you'd be easy for my hired gunman to pick off. She sighs. I didn't count on you having another bodyguard to save you, but today proves that when you want something done right, do it yourself. Panic sets in. If Dorinda says she's going to do something, she damn well follows through. If I let her, I'll be dead. Wait, why? I demand to stall. You're still making money off of me. But if you die now, everyone will remember you fondly as you were when you first appeared on the charts. Not like the whore you are now. She looks me up and down with a sniff. Those wholesome songs will be downloaded and played. But this isn't about money. It's about disrespect. You think I disrespected you? I don't think, I know. Time for you to pay. Shit, I have to keep her talking until Rand comes back and hope for the best. How did you find me? She tisks as if my question, and me by extension, is annoying. I'm far more clever than you ever gave me credit for. It was your lipstick. I paid the stylist to make sure you carried the tube with the tracking device inside, just in case the gunman proved unsuccessful. She sighs. I hate being right so often. And I hate that she seems to have lost her damn mind. Was she always so full of malice? Never mind, not important. What is? Figuring out how to deal with Dorinda. The old me, before Rand, would have asked what she wanted and done my best to comply. Of course, the me without Rand wouldn't have escaped the parade alive. We might not have had a lot of time to talk about how I should defend myself, but I learned a lot from observing him. One thing I know? Rand would never give in. Neither will I. Very clever, I murmur. Let her think she's got the upper hand. I told you, you just didn't believe in me enough. Wrong. I knew her professional limitations. They cost me millions. Then we're even. You didn't believe in me enough either. You sold me short. I proceeded cautiously. After all, most child stars fail at going adult. I'm not most. Clandestinely, I align my elbow with her stomach, situated directly behind me, then give a vicious shove. Instantly, she doubles over with an I don't dare wait for a better opportunity or for Rand to return. Heart roaring, I spin around and shove her onto her butt. She's not any bigger than me, but I'm stronger. I have surprise on my side, and I'm absolutely determined to come out of this in one piece. But when I bend to swipe the gun from her, she raises it again and points it in my face. You stupid fucking bitch. I've never killed anyone, but I'll enjoy wasting you. Suddenly I'm staring down the barrel of her gun. Oh God, it's over. I've failed. Then I hear a gunshot. I flinch, waiting to fall, bracing for death. Instead, something warm splatters me. Blood? As Dorinda jerks. Then she flops to the grass like a rag doll, unmoving.
Sophie, are you okay?
Rand! I turn and find him rushing up the hill, straight toward me, his aim still pinned on Dorinda. I'm fine, I think. My voice trembles, but I'm in one piece. I'm alive, thanks to him. At Dorinda's side, he kicks the weapon from her hand and bends to check her pulse. A moment later, he lets out a relieved breath.
She's dead.
With a cry, I launch myself into Rand's arms. I wouldn't have made it without you. Thank you. He pulls me even closer.
You helped. You kept her talking and held her off until I could get a clean shot. Thank God.
I hear his heart hammering against the side of my face. Every muscle in his body is taut. Then he dips his head to take my lips in a hard press.
I don't know what you think should happen between us next, but you'll have to get a restraining order and a crowbar to pry me away from you.
I don't want that. I want you. Always.
I want to spend my life with you, Sophie. Wherever that takes us, let's do it together.
We should start by getting married. It's unconventional as far as proposals go, but why not?
You took the words out of my mouth.
He smiles as he presses a kiss to my forehead, then gives me a solemn stare.
But first we need to call the police and sort through the red tape.
He's right. I'll need to call David, too. He can do damage control with the press.
You up to that?
If that's what it takes to spend my life with Rand. Yeah. And while I've got David on the phone, I'll also tell him that I'm downshifting my career to enjoy some life with the handsome hunk of bodyguard who turned out to be the man of my dreams. I can't wait to get started on my forever with him. Epilogue. New Year's Eve. Bartonville, Texas.
You ready, honey?
Rand cups my arm and drops a soft kiss onto my shoulder. I can't believe it's been almost 6 months since we met. To say we've been inseparable is an understatement. After the police descended on the cottage in Granbury that horrible night, they thankfully agreed that Rand shot Dorinda in my defense, ending one nightmare. But the press became another, printing every detail of our 4th of July they could dig up. Our escape from the parade, a photo of me wearing Rand's shirt as we crossed the street hand in hand, him kissing me in the buggy. Instantly, rumors of our romance began to buzz. Poor Rand couldn't get a moment's peace after that. I turned to him solemnly. More than ready. What about you? Are you sure? I've made your life hell since we met.
No, the press has made my life hell. You've been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
His words melt my heart. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I'm thrilled we've made it work despite the challenges.
Me too.
He kisses me softly. God, I love this man. We've learned to communicate and compromise. Rand has had to swallow his pride more than once, but he's been supportive and understanding no matter what. The first month of his employment in Bartonville was hell with press and my fans stalking him in and around the police headquarters. He had to sell the place he'd bought before he ever moved in. I know that annoyed him, just like I know it chafed to take refuge in a house behind a gate and a guard. The $5 million for its purchase came mostly from my bank account. Rand wanted to object, but we both agreed that safety had to come before pride. Our first month in the house was rough. Going from an 800-square-foot apartment to an 8,000-square-foot house took a lot of adjusting for Rand. He questioned what the hell we were going to do with 6 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms, until we christened them all. We also found out that we still had a lot to learn about each other. He didn't count on me being a neat freak. I didn't know he likes to play video games when he suffers from insomnia. But we've adjusted to one another's quirks. He showed me the joys of skinny dipping at midnight. I tried to teach him to cook, which we both decided is a lost cause. But it's fine, since I love being in the kitchen, and he loves eating, then having me for dessert. For me, it's been unusual to be in one place for weeks on end. Not bad, just different, especially after the new album dropped. I did far fewer public appearances in support, and those I did, I found myself flanked by Rand or Rob, sometimes both. The success of the album exceeded my wildest expectations, and the pressure to tour and do the late-night circuit was enormous. But I finally sat David down and told him this album would be my last for a while, maybe even forever. So I look up at Rand, trying to tamp down my nerves. We're really doing this?
We really are.
He assures.
Unless you're having second thoughts.
Never. The doorbell rings, and he glances at his watch.
Right on time. I'll get the door.
I'll meet you in the dining room in a few. I love you.
I love you too. I can't wait.
He kisses me one more time, then leaves our bedroom, looking incredibly swoon-worthy in his black suit. I can't wipe the smile off my face as I turn and shimmy into my dress. As I'm struggling with the fastening at the back, David walks in.
Wow, you look incredible. Do you need help with that?
Please. With a smile, he walks behind me.
You're lucky I'm good with a corset.
This tidbit somehow escaped me until now. Because? His low laugh is familiar and warm as I feel him thread and tug on the silk ribbons at my back.
Let's just say I led a colorful life before Alan.
He tightens the strings and ties them off.
There, now turn.
I comply. Good?
Perfect.
His smile is almost fatherly.
Thank you for asking me to be with you tonight. It's an honor.
We're in business together, but your support the last few months has shown me that we're family, too. Thank you for being here. He brings me in for a hug, then eases away.
I promised Alan I wouldn't cry tonight, and you better not either. You'll ruin your makeup, and you look too stunning for tears, darling.
Can't have that.
Now, come on. You have a New Year's party to host us.
He winks. I wink back. I do. He leads me into the hall, where my best friend Christy is already waiting, in a gorgeous red dress that shows off her killer curves and a giant smile. You look amazing. I'm so happy for you, girl. I'm happy for me, too. Maybe for the first time in my life. She sighs wistfully.
I wish I could be half as lucky.
You will be. I squeeze her hands. Let's put it out into the universe. I know there's a man out there who will love you unconditionally forever. We just have to find him.
From your lips to God's ears,
she quips. But today is about you. Ready to make your grand entrance? Beyond. She turns to a niche in the hallway and hands me a cluster of roses. You'll need this. We share a last smile, and the music starts. Christy walks down the hall and into the dining room in time with the music, catching the eye of more than one single guy in the room. Then the music changes. David squeezes my hand, and it's time. Suddenly, the small crowd stands, and I walk past a lot of familiar faces. Rob, my mother and her husband, 2 of Rand's brothers and their parents, all wearing beaming smiles. At the end of the room, my gorgeous hunk of a bodyguard turned boyfriend waits for me with his heart in his eyes. His older brother, Ransom, stands beside him, looking handsome and a bit mysterious in a charcoal suit.
So I take it this isn't actually a New Year's Eve party?
Rand's brother, Rush, calls out, clearly catching on. No, it's a wedding. Surprise! I call over my shoulder. Everyone chuckles as the minister smiles and asks,
Who gives this woman to be married to this man?
I do. David pats my hand softly before placing my palm in Rand's and dropping a tender kiss on my cheek. 10 minutes later, our previously stunned guests are still grinning or conspicuously sniffling as the minister pronounces us man and wife.
You may kiss the bride.
Rand does with gusto to a room full of whistles and catcalls when the pucker goes on longer than is strictly polite.
Get a room,
Rand's youngest brother, Ridge, shouts. My husband, wow, it seems crazy to say that, takes my hand and starts dragging me down the makeshift aisle.
Best advice I've gotten all day. Good night, y'all. Thanks for coming.
I dig in my heels as everyone laughs. Ransom approaches first and welcomes me to the family with a kiss on the cheek. His smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. All of Rand's brothers have an edge, as if they're expecting danger at any moment. Then again, that's the norm in their world. Rand pulls me in for another kiss as his mother opens her arms for a hug. Charlene is a lovely, kind woman, and I couldn't have asked for a better mother-in-law. You look beautiful, Sophie. Her eyes water. You and Rand will be very happy. We will. I know it in my heart.
We promise.
My husband adds, tossing a possessive arm around my waist. And since you're the first one of your brothers to get off his backside and get married, Charlene sends Ransom a pointed glare, which he pretends not to notice. When can I expect some grandkids from you? Rand sighs.
We've literally been married 3 minutes. Let us go on our honeymoon and settle into some sort of normal life. Then we'll start talking.
July, I cut in softly, casting a hopeful stare to my husband. He swallows.
You want to get pregnant in July?
I bite my lip and shake my head. We're going to have a baby in July. Surprise. Rand pales.
Oh, holy shit. You're serious? We are? You're pregnant?
Yes. I blink, and my stomach plummets to my toes. Please tell me you're happy.
Happy? No.
Then the biggest smile I've ever seen crosses Rand's face.
I'm thrilled. Oh, honey.
He lays his lips over mine, and the small, trusted crowd of guests claps for the beginning of our long, happy life together.
This concludes Seduced by the Bodyguard by Shayla Black, narrated by Jason Clark. Copyright 2020 by Shelley Bradley, LLC. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Shelley Bradley, LLC, care of the Whalen Agency, Limited, and was produced in the year 2022 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, a division of Recorded Books, which holds the copyright thereto. Please visit tantor.com for more information on our growing library of unabridged audiobooks.